Hello, YouTubes. Good morning. So today's video is going to be kind of it's kind of in response to everything that's going on and what happened with me personally. So the reason I decided to do this is because of, the timing, because I saw a lot of people especially in the BJJ community, that don't fully understand what's going on. I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying that, I by any means am a scientist or I've gone to college to study, infectious diseases or anything like that, because I don't, and I don't pretend to, but I'm not on Instagram, telling everybody their fears are crazy and, come train, So I guess let me start with what happened. December of 2016, we were getting ready to host Christmas dinner here at the house, and I guess it was a few days before, and we all came down with the flu. I was the first to get it, and then Elise and Ming got it. So we all went to the doctor. We went on Tamiflu, and it wasn't anything abnormal that we hadn't done a million times before already. So we didn't think anything of it. So we went on Tamiflu. Christmas came and went. It was a miserable Christmas. Ming was feeling terrible. I was feeling bad. We ended up fighting because we were just both really sick, and we didn't feel like, I wanted to cancel, but she insisted on going through with hosting dinner. So we went through, and then shortly after Christmas, we started getting better, but Ming did not get better. In fact, it got worse. She started getting hives, which we thought was a reaction to the Tamiflu, which was odd because she had taken Tamiflu many times before. It wasn't something new she hadn't taken. So it looked like hives, like an allergic reaction to the Tamiflu. So we called the doctor, immediately stopped the Tamiflu, and went to the doctors. The doctor put her on a steroid to help with the hives and to help her body recover. And at first it was just a low dose, and it didn't seem to be helping. First the hives were just here and there on her neck, and then it spread. It spread to her whole body, to the palm of her hands, to the bottom of her feet. The hives were everywhere. And we went to the doctor, and they couldn't find anything. They had no idea what was going on. She was burning up. She would sleep on ice packs, and every few hours I'd have to run downstairs and get another ice pack because she was burning up. So they really upped her steroids to, I don't know the exact dosage, but I want to say it was like 125 milligrams or something like that. It was a high dosage, especially for somebody her size. So when they upped the steroids, it helped. The hives started going away. She started feeling better, and she got back to day-to-day life. The problem was through this whole thing, they still have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's causing this. It's no longer the antibiotics, because she's not on the antibiotics anymore. So nobody has any idea what's going on. We've been to the doctor. We've been to dermatologists. We've been to we run the gamut of doctors, from the ER doctor to our primary physician to dermatologist. She went to one other doctor, I think another or allergist. So we went to all the doctors. So the high steroids started making her feel better, so she went back to day-to-day life. But as soon as they brought it down, they started lowering the dose, everything would come back. And nobody had any idea what was going on. And when we go to the doctor, I said, is there anything you can test me for? Am I somehow the carrier of this? Did I, is it something that you found in me? And they didn't even test me. They said, no, it's probably you be sick and you're not showing any signs. So when we had another flare up, she had a biopsy done. They still found nothing. By this time, we're going on, we're going through end of January. She spent probably the majority of 3 weeks working from home. I wasn't working at this point because I had left my job. I had just started the vlog, and so I was home with her every day. And it just wasn't getting better. Once they started raising the steroids, it would go away. But she didn't feel good. She kept telling me, she's like, I feel like my heart is just racing all the time. And I'm not a doctor. What am I supposed to tell her? I can't tell her, I want to tell her don't take the steroids, but it comes back. She's back in pain. She's, it's ridiculous. I mean, sleeping on ice packs nonstop throughout the night. At that point, we had 3 ice packs, and I just rotate them in and out throughout the night. On top of, the only thing that helped was the cream to help her skin. But I mean, her skin was on fire. So we went through, all of January like this and into February. And it was a Thursday. We woke up and she says, I don't feel good. I want to go to the hospital. And she was having shortness of breath. She couldn't breathe, and she was having chest pains. So we went to the hospital. And as we get there, I'm talking to the person, and I'm like, she's here because we went to the emergency room. She's here because she's having chest pains. And so like, all right, well, take your name and let's get your number and all that. And so I said, and I looked at her, I said, I don't think you understood. She's having chest pains. And the lady goes, sir, you're going to need to calm down, or I'm going to have to ask you to leave. So, naturally, I calmed down. They get her back. They didn't do any blood work. They didn't do any tests. The doctor came in and listened to her heart and said everything sounds normal. And he said it's just anxiety, and he made jokes and he laughed and giggled and he's like, you just need to relax. And this.
Yes, Dave, I'm high. They put me full of Ativan. I feel great.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you do.
I'm on the Facebook Live.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Yeah, see, this is my doctor.
Yeah, I can't see who you are, but I don't even know on Facebook actually.
I don't know.
But anyhow, you feeling okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to write some instructions for you.
Is the heartbeat down?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yes. Let's see. No, not really.
Oh,
Not that much.
oh God. So now it's something else?
No.
And he put her on Valium so she could calm down. And all that did was make her sleep. So, they gave her some at the hospital. So she was pretty much asleep by the time we left the hospital. Get her home, get her dinner. She has a Valium. She spends Friday sleeping. Then Saturday morning she wakes up again. We wake up again and she goes, I don't feel good. I have chest pains and I feel like there's something going right through the middle of me. Headed back to the hospital. Ming is not feeling well this morning. And so take her to the hospital. And this time I'm not taking, I don't care. They're going to have to drag me out. by force, and that's not that easy these days. I said she's having chest pains. So they immediately take her back, and I looked at the lady and I said, look, I don't care what you say. This is our second time here for the same reason. She's having chest pains. Somebody needs to see her now. So they take her back and they start blood work and they put her on an EKG and they do the heart monitoring, and everything comes, and the blood work comes back that she's having a heart attack. But there's no other sign that she's having a heart attack other than her saying she's having chest pains. So she immediately starts hyperventilating. You know, she's going, I mean, she couldn't believe what she's hearing. I can't believe what we're hearing. So they give her something to make her calm down. They say they're gonna have to do
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has no...
Alright, so now we're headed to Shady Grove Hospital. We're gonna do an angioplasty or something and check for a partially blocked artery. So we're gonna have to go in and check for a partial blockage somewhere and put a stent in. But they didn't have the facilities to do it there, so they had to take us to Shady Grove Hospital. This was the last time I saw her. I gave her a kiss. I told her everything was gonna be okay. And I'd see her at the hospital. Sorry. So, they take her to Shady Grove Hospital. By this time, I get in my car and I follow the ambulance. And I called her mother on the way, and I made a couple other phone calls just to let people know what was going on. We got to the hospital, and the ambulance went into the emergency entrance, and I parked. I just parked and I fucking ran in, and they wheeled her away. They rushed her right into surgery. They didn't even let, I barely got a chance to even glimpse at her. So everybody's arrived, and we're sitting there, and we're in the waiting room, and I'm explaining to Mom everything that's been happening. And over the intercom, we hear code blue, and I didn't even think. I said, fuck, and it just came out. And her mother was like, what? And I was like, nothing. I said nothing. I hope I'm wrong. And then about 3 minutes later, the doctor came out and said that her heart had stopped on the table, and they were currently trying to resuscitate her, but they were having no luck in getting a pulse back again. I said I need to see her. So they let me, so she took me back into the operating room to let me see her. And she was laying there, all the hoses and everything. I grabbed her hand, and it was ice cold. It was so cold. Sorry. I just felt, I was like, it's like waking up from that dream that you think is so real, that when you wake up, you're disoriented and disappointed. It was like waking up from the best dream I'd ever had and realizing that that wasn't my life. She was ice cold, and I begged her to come back. I said, please don't go. I said, I need you. But she was already gone. They tried to resuscitate her for probably 10 more minutes. And I just fell to pieces on the floor right there in surgery. I couldn't believe what was happening. In the end, they said she had a viral infection and it had gone to her heart, and that was the cause of death. It was myocarditis or something. I have to look it up. But the virus had stopped her heart, basically. So as you go through all this, I train. At that point, I was training 30 hours a week. She did Zumba 4 days a week and was an instructor. We no longer smoked. It'd been 2 or 3 years since we quit smoking. So we were healthy people. As healthy as they come, you know. And that's the thing, is you don't know how it's gonna affect somebody else. You know, each person, a virus affects them differently. You know, yeah, you may have a virus, a flu. You know, you may get a flu 50 times in your life. It's that one flu that doesn't agree with you, that does you in, you know, and it may take 50 tries to get you, but you never know. You never know when that one virus that has your name on it's gonna get you. And it's that simple, you know. One day you're walking around, you know, healthy as can be, and a week later, you're gone. So it's not necessarily it's taking a chance with everybody else in your life. You know, you may be able to survive the virus, you know, but are you willing to bet that it's your wife will, or your kids will, or your mother will, or whoever it is around you will, you know, because you don't know. And with something like this, it's better to be safe than sorry.